people have an opportunity to go back and watch that if necessary. All right, so welcome to our very first case management peer-to-peer roundtable discussion. I am so excited to be able to host this with you guys. Typically, these are going to be on Thursdays, but because of the Thanksgiving holiday, we're going to go ahead and have it a little early this time. But as you can see on our agenda, we have a lot of things that we need to cover and what we're going to go over. And before we get started with that, I was hoping that we could go around the room really quick, do a quick introduction. For those of us who haven't met each other yet, I'm going to go ahead and call out a name when it's your turn in my little Brady box screen here. So I'm going to start off with Emmy Lou. And Emmy Lou, if you guys could tell me where you work, what your position is. Oh, look at, she even put the camera on. Oh my God, we're fancy. We'll start with Emmy Lou. I just want to hear your name, where you're from, and the position you hold at the agency that you're representing today. Emmy Lou.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Emmy Nielsen, I'm the Access Care Coordinator for the in-home services with the Rock Springs Young at Heart in Rock Springs. And we have many different grants that we work under, providing case management and other services.
All right, thank you so much. Sharon.
I'm Sharon Hoops. I work out of Lincoln and Sublette counties as the CSBG coordinator through High Country Behavioral Health.
And you are also a board member of the CSNO State Agency.
I am.
Thank you so much for coming. Kayla.
I am Kayla.Laramore, and I do homeless outreach at Volunteers of America in Sheridan County, and I also cover Johnson County.
Thank you, Kayla, for joining us. Kendra. We can come back to you, Kendra, unless you are muted.
Sorry, I just had someone walk in the office. I'll be right back to you, okay?
All right, so Kendra, tell us, oh, she just had somebody walk in the office. I knew that. Let's see, let's go to Lindley.
Hi, sorry, I was on mute there. I didn't hear what everyone was saying because I was on the phone with them. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We just want you to introduce yourself, the agency you're with, and what you do at the agency.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. My name is Lindley. I'm with 122 in Jackson, and I'm a client service coordinator.
Awesome. Thank you. Lindsay Klug. Oh, let me go to mute.
All right, we're sharing the same office, so try not to get feedback here. My name is Lindsay Klug. I am interning with Community Services Network of Wyoming. I'm working on getting my master's in social work, so this is a good opportunity for me to learn more about community action and what membership organizations are doing throughout the state.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Tim Ernst.
Sure. Tim, sorry about that. Tim Ernst with Community Action of Laramie County, the CEO.
Thank you. Let's see. Oh, my screen changed. Now I don't know where I went. Kay Wallace.
Hi, I'm Crystal. I work at Community Action Partnership in Turner County in Casper. I have a new position. I am now the compliance director.
Thank you, Crystal. Sabrina Lane.
I just put a bite of salad in my mouth. Hold on. Hi, everybody. I'm Sabrina Lane. I'm the executive director for Wyoming 211.
Taylor.
I'm Taylor. I work with Community Action of Laramie County in Cheyenne. I am a self-sufficiency case manager.
Thank you. Yannette. Oh, I'm having a hard time hearing you, and I see you're not muted. We'll come back. I know she is with 211 up in Teton County. Let's go with Amy.
Hey, my name is Amy. I work with Wyo Help, and I'm a case manager for Crook County.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Well, let's see. She may be muted on there. She may be busy too. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to Ryan. Oh, I can.
Can you hear me? Okay, sorry, I've been having feedback all morning, so I turned it down. I am Elizabeth Ridgeway. I am the program director for Wyo Help. We cover 6 counties: Carbon, Crook, Niobrara, Weston, Washakie, and Goshen.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Ryan.
Hey, I'm Ryan Charest. I am up in Sheridan County with Compass Center for Families. I am with the project up there called Project Thrive, and I'm a coach.
Thank you, Ryan. Cassie.
Can you hear me?
We can.
My name is Cassie, and I work for Wyo Help here in Washakie County, and I'm a case manager.
Thank you. Julie? Okay, Ashley? Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and go on. And normally we wouldn't start off everything so late. Again, my apologies for having a broken link. We'll get that fixed for the next one. So I want to draw your attention really quick to Heather. She is actually listed as Aaron on her computer, but Heather Smith is our CSP program manager. Hi, Heather.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
We certainly can. Welcome.
Okay. Welcome. Nice to see everybody. Wonderful turnout today.
Yeah,
So that's really
turnout.
exciting. And thanks for letting me be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, of course. We're glad to have you here. Our hope in our collaboration with the state office, our hope was to be able to bring quarterly discussion, roundtable discussions, to talk about issues that are important to you as case managers. And I put together an agenda, and I sent that out earlier with a broken link, obviously. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things that were coming up that are impacting you guys directly. But I don't want to hog the whole meeting. And I really want this to be a conversation, not just me speaking about things that are going on. I'm hoping that you guys have the opportunity to learn and be supported from each other in a peer-to-peer reflective supervision way. So we're going to go ahead and get started because we are running a little bit late. I am recording this, and so I will put it on the YouTube channel later on for you guys to be able to take a look at. So one of the things that I wanted to start off with is Heather and I had an opportunity to meet with the Department of Family Services and the ERAP and the weatherization program. And you guys as case managers probably already know this at this point, but their client portal is not working the way it's supposed to be working. So at the bottom of the agenda that you have in the email that I sent, there is a link here. You can see it right in here, these 2 links that will take you to the printed form that you can download, help your clients get those filled out, and then email it back to the Align office if you're doing an application for LEAP or for LEWAP, which is the Water Assistance Program. If you're looking at weatherization, the application that you're printing off will fit all 3 of those programs, and they will just be sent off to the appropriate thing. If you have any problems at all, please contact Align. The information is on their website for any technical support. I just wanted to remind everybody that the deadline for LEAP and LEWAP is February 22nd. There is no deadline for the weatherization program. So we're going to have them come on and tell us a little bit more about the program and how we can best ensure our clients are getting what they need. I wanted to move down to Wyoming 211 and other statewide resources. This is kind of an opportunity for us to share knowledge about either new or underused state resources. Sabrina, I know that you're on the line right now, and I was kind of hoping that you could just give us a really quick, brief overview of how we can point our clients to your program, to 211, and help them get through some of the backlog that we're all facing with case management. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Wyoming 211, we are a statewide provider of information and referral. And we really are here to be a connector for those in need to those who can assist them with those needs. And I look at all of you as case managers as probably the most important folks of our service providers, because you are doing that day-to-day work with our clients and consumers around the state. Wyoming 211 is here to help support you with resources and to help support your clients. So if you're ever in a situation where your clients are in need of a particular resource or service that perhaps your community doesn't provide, you can reach out or have your client reach out to Wyoming 211, and we can help identify what resources do exist that perhaps they would be eligible for with that particular need. We can work with you as a case manager to kind of do some brainstorming on different scenarios, because sometimes, you know, when you're too close to it, you don't see what else is out there. And so there might be another opportunity where we can be creative or look at other options that might work and benefit the client. So we really are here for you as a resource and a tool. We are continually growing our resource database. We are now over 2,600 resources and continue to grow on a daily basis. But we also really want to make sure that we're tapping into you as community service providers. If there are new services that are popping up in your community, let us know about those services, or let those new service providers reach out to 211 so that we can get them connected and get clients connected to those services that they're providing. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, where you can reach out and speak to one of our community resource specialists and talk about the different types of resources in your community. We also have an online database search feature that you can go to 24/7. And then just as a side note, we are getting ready to launch a new search engine after the first of this year, which I'm super excited about, and I'm hoping that it'll be a lot more user-friendly. We've come a long way over the last 4 years, and this new version of this search feature, I'm hoping will prove to be even more user-friendly and beneficial. Clients can reach us by calling 211 or our 888-425-7138 number. They can text us to 898-211, or they can email us. So we have a lot of different options that people can utilize that falls within their comfort zone, and see what they can do to find resources that will help them out with their particular area of need. Susan, was there something else that you wanted me to share?
Well, I think that's really a good comprehensive overview of how we can, as case managers, and help our clients use 211. One thing I do want to remind everybody is, because we're under a new program year as of October 1st, some of you may have new services that you're offering. So I want to just kind of lift up her comment about make sure that you reach out to 211 to update your agency profiles. with ERAP going away, some of us have shifted into some different housing resources. So please make sure those are up to date. And Sabrina, is there like a particular number or someone that you want them to reach out to make sure that their agency information is updated?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat, Susan. I find that it's probably easiest if you're updating your resources just to reach out to our database staff. In particular, reach out to Jane. She's got a direct line, so I'll put that here in the chat box so that you can reach out, provide her with the updated information. One thing about our website, typically you can go in and you can request a service revision update through the internet, through our website, and you can still do that. But if you do have a new service that's being provided, such as a new rental assistance program, we do need to visit with you in person so that we can ensure that that new program is added appropriately. That is not something that you can do through our website, but you can initiate that conversation through the website as a new service revision. So I'll go ahead and I'll put Jane's information here in the chat, and that's who I would like you to reach out to get your stuff updated. We also have Nichole, who backs Jane up. And so if Jane's not available, Nichole can be that backup for you as well. And I'll put her information there.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Before moving on, does anybody have any particularly new resources that they have become aware of recently that may be of help for all of the case managers here? I'm going to be talking about a few of them as we go through that you guys can reach out to. Feel free to add those to the chat or take yourself off of mute at any time to tell us about any new resources that you might be having. One of the things that I wanted you guys to be connecting with is making sure that you are reaching out to get your community resources on for the holidays, right? So a lot of those deadlines are coming up early. If you have a Toys for Tots, if you have a Shop with a Cop program, if there's trees that are going on, making sure that you've been connected to all of those. And I assume you probably already have done that. I wanted to also draw your attention to the Social Security website. So I had a meeting with one of our regional reps for Social Security, and they're doing a huge outreach to agencies across the West and the Midwest, the Rocky Mountain West, about ways that we can help people sign up for benefits through Social Security. One of the biggest barriers that we have is we don't have enough SOAR trained individuals in the state. SOAR are individuals that have been especially trained and certified to help individuals with Social Security disability applications and making sure that they have everything they need to get onto disability. And those have been pretty difficult for us to find enough of those. So there are a lot of resources. And again, I will send these out after this meeting so you can share them widely. But under your ssa.gov, there is a third-party page that you can go to that has all the links on how you can help clients walking into your office on disability, on death benefits, on what are the rules for being able to work while you are on disability, because there's work that you can do. There's a lot of possibility out there that won't cut into your benefits. Actually, thank you for putting in the chat. I wanted to lift up her comments that she is doing SOAR training right now. I know that Ryan Charest, who is on the phone with us right now, is also currently SOAR trained. And we are woefully understaffed in that particular area. So for those of you that, have that couple extra minutes on your hand and don't have anything else better to do, I could reach out to you reach out to me, and I can show you the direction of where you can go to become SOAR trained. Ryan, I hate to put you on the spot, but do you know if there are some additional resources at the state that can help people learn more about becoming SOAR trained?
So there are webinars that happen pretty frequently. I they call it the Soar Works, and they have just different meetings. I just got a notification of one in a couple of weeks on a review session of the adult curriculum, and so they try to do at least. I feel like it's monthly. I'm not able to get to all of them, but at least they do have those, and that's just people in Wyoming that are invited to those through the leader, and I forget her name. I want to say it's Ashley, that leads it in Wyoming. So if anyone has questions about it, I'm very willing to answer any questions that people do have on that. I'll throw my email into the chat and you guys can reach out to me.
Thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate it. When I was still executive director at Compass Center for Families, I made Ryan go through SOAR training, and I'm not sure he's still forgiven me by this particular point, but he does a great job of it.
I'm still working on that, Susan.
Well, I appreciate it. So I'm going to kind of just skip around in the agenda really quick. I wanted to remind you guys that we will be talking about client surveys in our next monthly training session. That's December 13th at 10 a.m. This is an excellent opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about our client surveys and collecting qualitative data around the stories of the people that we serve. And this is critically important to plan on how we're going to deliver services and deploy resources moving forward. So we're going to spend some time on that. Real quick, before I move on from that, is there anybody in the room right now who is actively working with client exit surveys with your clients and your case management? Okay, good. So this is an excellent opportunity for us to learn a little bit more about the importance of case management, or not case management, excuse me, the client surveys, helping us inform our programming. So I invite you all to that, to register for that training. I think you'll find it very interesting. Next, I wanted to remind everybody that the point in time count is just around the corner. The point in time count is a count of all sheltered and unsheltered homeless in the state of Wyoming. And this count is going to be conducted in Wyoming on January 25th. It begins at sundown and ends at sunrise on the 26th of January. We are looking for county leads in several different counties, including Teton County, Johnson County, a couple other counties. Please reach out to me if you have any questions about how you can either lead the point in time count in your particular county, or if you would like to be a volunteer to work on that. Many of our agencies here today are taking some lead roles in that point in time count. And I would love to be able to have community action be a real leading force in that point in time count. Again, if you have any questions, let me know and you can reach out to me. So the next thing that I wanted to bring up, and this is where I really would like to see us be able to have an open conversation about how you yourself and your agency are coping with the end of ERAP in the state of Wyoming. We didn't get a whole lot of notice that it was ending, and we have a lot of people who are not going to be able to be beneficiaries of this emergency rental assistance program moving forward. And I wanted to chat with you guys for a couple of things. A, how are you doing? Because I know there were some counties that really had a bad experience with clients panicking and becoming extremely frustrated with the whole process. I know that there are case managers that are frustrated with the whole process. So I was hoping that maybe somebody would like to take the lead on a conversation about how you're dealing with the loss of ERAP in your communities? Please feel free to put something in the chat or take yourself off of mute.
Hi, Susan. This is Elizabeth with Wyo Help.
Let
Our
her
case
rip,
managers,
Elizabeth.
yeah, that's what I was like, you want to know? Well, here you go, girl. So I can tell you from a case manager's point of view that it was really extremely frustrating. We knew it was going to happen, but just the way that it happened didn't allow for some closures and some just true case management to happen. So of course there was going to be some panic. The way that we're dealing with it, obviously we use each other as a sounding board. So when we need to vent, but the biggest thing that we are doing moving forward, oh, I apologize. Sorry, but can you guys hear me or am I still muted? I don't know which.
You.
Okay. My dogs went a little crazy there for a minute. The mailman. Moving forward, what we are doing is we're really focusing on the same thing that you're doing, Susan, making sure that our case managers are aware of all of the different networking opportunities, linkages, other community programs, because in order for us to do true case management, we're going to have to do it unified because we can't be the one fix, the Band-Aid that covers it all. So really pushing the community and the networking and just, again, finding out as many resources and opportunities that are available. So trying to make as many new friends as possible.
I think that's excellent. And I think, you know, that I do recognize that initial hit when it came out so suddenly, that we were just like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And I think once we kind of had a chance to sit back and evaluate what's out there, I'm hearing things, and Elizabeth, maybe you can kind of speak to this a little bit more. Are there some initial things that you guys are doing immediately to maybe help stop some of the emergency bleeding, such as making sure that they're signed up for free and reduced lunches, making sure that they are signed up for SNAP benefits, LEAP, all those kind of resources that are out there to help alleviate some of the cash going out the door? Have you had any, or have you had many successes with that?
So what we're doing is what we're starting next week. A lot of our case managers were under the emergency crisis mentality. And so it was, as much as I hate to say it, it was that, you know, revolving door. One client came in and then the next and then the next. So there wasn't a lot of true case management. I mean, we did the best that we could. So moving forward, what we're actually doing is we're retraining all of our staff to go back through our self-sufficiency matrix and take a look at 9 different categories so that we are making sure we're not missing those things. So like you said, do you need assistance with SNAP? Do you qualify if you're coming in because you need an auto repair? Can we refer, you know, are you a veteran? So really just really digging in and actually doing some strong case management so that we can actually make those referrals. And then again, as we start to see where we're bleeding, we can make those adjustments. But right now it's a mindset in our program. It's changing that mindset from emergency management to actually long-term case management. And because a lot of our people were hired under the, you know, under the ERAP umbrella. So they came in with a little different mentality. And so now it's just reprogramming and switching gears like we do in social services, just switching gears and then reevaluating our program as far as what are those needs that we can assist with, who are those community partners we can assist with. And we're doing it across 6 counties. So some counties might have those in place already and some of them do not. So again, it's we're at different levels in different counties. So a lot happening in our program.
That is super impressive. I think I really want to applaud you guys for being able to pivot quickly. Sometimes the benefit of being a small agency is you have to be all things to all people all of the time, but you can pivot quickly and redeploy resources as necessary. Later on, before we end today, I'm going to talk about some of the case management training opportunities that CSNO will be bringing to the state. So you guys have additional resources for skill training on case management. What about anybody else? I'd love to hear some of the changes, and I will just call on people because that's just the way I work sometimes, and I hate to put you on the spot. But Kayla, you at VOA work with a lot of veterans in homelessness, and you have a lot of programs going that way. How was you guys didn't do ERAP yourselves, but how has the end of ERAP impacted the way that you guys have been working with clients at VOA?
there is a lot that are in there. They all feel like they're in crisis. So trying to recenter without the support of ERAP, because it really helped sustainability. And so now they're just feeling a little more hopeless. And I feel like Sheridan's resources are pretty exhausted right now. Even though we just got our new grants, I know that I've spent through a lot of mine already because ERAP's gone. Salvation Army doesn't have a ton right now. Like I feel like the community is struggling. And so that backup plan of I applied for ERAP and waiting for ERAP is gone. And now a lot of people are feeling pretty hopeless. So it's a lot of back to how can we get you to job training? I know this is longer, it takes longer, but let's start here and try this. We'll get you on food stamps and then we do this. And it's been a challenge the last couple of weeks just to try to encourage people to keep going, even though it seems more exhausting to them, I guess, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does make sense. And I wonder, like, Kayla, how are you doing? I mean, how are you guys as case managers feeling with this shock to the system and seeing a lot of our clients lose hope? What are you doing to help kind of refill your cup so you can keep going?
Last week was rough. I was just like, I don't think I want to be in social services. Like, I'm tired of telling people I can't help them. I'm tired of not having the answers. Like, this is rough. So, I really just had to step back because I'm the kind of person that takes all of it home with me, until I absolutely can't. So, stepping kind of out of I'm trying to fix everything role and just really focused on my family through the weekend. And I feel a little better this week, but I feel like our community is struggling right now and it's kind of exhausting.
You're not wrong. How about anybody else? Does anybody else have anything that they want to add on how they're coping with this and maybe some suggestions of how we can support each other through such a tough time?
So Susan, for community action here in Cheyenne, I think we're struggling as everybody else are. What we're trying to do is we're trying to contact the folks that we have helped and inviting them to luncheons that we're putting on at the library, some budgeting classes, to try to get them connected with other resources as well. And but as Taylor put it in the chat here, we're not having great success because everybody's still getting the money. And so that's not on their priority list right now. So I think we're going to see, and I think everybody else is going to see the biggest issue when the reality actually hits, when they get the letter saying, we're done. And so I think, here, as like Taylor indicated, here in a couple months, when people start getting the letters and saying thank you, but your rent is done, I think that's when we're going to see the hugest impact. And like Goshen and Sheridan, I think Laramie County as well is feeling overwhelmed. What do we do? And as I shared with the management team a couple weeks ago with you, we have a gentleman that was approved for an apartment for $1,500, and he only makes $10,000 a year. And so, what are we going to do with him? We're looking at some of our programs, but that would chew up a huge portion of our grants as well. So again, we're working with 211, and our case managers are meeting with all of our partners and trying to do referrals, but I truly don't think we're going to see the biggest bang until the checks stop coming in.
Yeah, I would agree, Tim, because in Sheridan County, we were seeing anywhere from 15 to 30% increases in rental prices, and we're not seeing those come down yet. I don't know that we will. I don't know what to expect. I've had a lot of conversations with case managers around the state that are just sick about what are we going to do with not just rental issues, but those with fixed incomes. They don't have the ability to go out and just get a second or third or fourth job. What happens when the 18 months, if you're currently enrolled and the 18 months comes up and you're done? And it is honestly a frightening, terrifying thing to think about. And I get concerned because sometimes as case managers and client-facing staff, we feel so alone sometimes. We feel so isolated in the work that we're doing, and having to tell people no over and over and over again is really tough. I've worked with some agencies here recently that flat out don't have any more money. I mean, they just, like Kayla kind of referred to, it was zeroed out a grant already and reimbursements haven't even started yet, right? So how do we reevaluate where our actual resources are, what we can provide when everybody else in the community is as tapped out as you are?
So you're absolutely correct. And so, with our case managers, they're trying to think outside the box, and Taylor and the team and Daphne, and for my agency, they're trying everything, but it's a struggle because of the clients that we have contacted to come, and they're not showing up. So we're offering service, trying to offer some counseling and stuff, but like I stated earlier, until the money officially stops, the applications have stopped, but now it's going to be when the money stops. And I think that's where we're trying to gear up for the tsunami of issues to be coming in.
And if I can add to that, I do think they're living in kind of a blissful ignorance right now because the money still is able to be requested as an extension. So they're hoping it'll come through. So a lot of my clients are kind of just ignoring the fact that it might not come through in February that they requested. So we've been fortunate enough with those classes to kind of frame the speakers at that time around that. We have banks specifically in January and February, I believe, coming in to talk about budgeting, credit, things like that. So I think that will kind of help a little bit because there's going to be such a rental problem, knowing how to budget and working on credit. But yeah, nobody's showing up yet. We're not seeing the numbers we'd like to see, but hopefully.
Does anybody have any data in terms of, increased, have you guys been tracking your data to see what kind of increased numbers we're looking at or anything like that? And have you guys started having conversations about eligibility should that change in December again with the continuing resolution and what that might do to impact some of the clients that you're working with? I know, Tim, you and I talk about that. We're like, okay, when you're working with case management and all of a sudden they just don't qualify anymore for whatever reason, how do we start phasing them out? And how do we start making those kinds of decisions and how we're going to move forward? I mean, I knew this wasn't going to be rosy sunshine conversation, and I don't mean to be Debbie Downer even more about it, but these are realistic concerns that every agency has to ask themselves as they're navigating this. Anybody have any comments or thoughts about that? These are tough situations. These are, you know, being in human services for as long as I have been and working and training case managers. These are the types of things that keep me awake at night because I don't know how to fix hope when there is a lack of hope. I don't necessarily know the right ways. I can talk about all the steps necessary for self-care. We've all heard those ad nauseum, right? Go out and exercise, go out into the mountains, do all these things. But when you are hit day after day, and sometimes hour after hour after hour of working with clients who have lost hope, it can really do a number on all of our mental health. And so, you know, what we can certainly do is these are scheduled, these roundtable discussions are scheduled quarterly. We can move these monthly if you guys feel like there's room in your schedule. And if you feel that it's helpful to be able to speak with people who know exactly what you're going through. Many times we go home, our partners, our children, they don't understand what we're seeing on a regular basis. And at the end of this, I'll send you guys a survey and we can talk about how frequently you want to meet. I am always more than happy to do some reflective supervision on a monthly basis if that's something that the group would like to do. Any thoughts?
Susan, one of the things that I've been doing in part of the program here is we have some benchmarks, and we have 17 different benchmarks that we can measure with people. And one of the things that I'm noticing in housing is the very first one that we talk about, but then we don't stop there. And there's a lot of good things that people are seeing through these benchmarks that they're thriving in, and then there's things that they're struggling in or they're needing some assistance with. But what I see as I'm walking through all these different benchmarks as part of my role is that they see positive steps in their lives, and I think that's a huge thing to make them aware that there are things in their lives that are positive. And so, hey, this one's down, but we can help you with that one. But look at this, you're already achieving so much in this one, and being able to speak some of that truth into them in a positive way does make a huge difference when there's so much instability in what's going to happen in the next few months.
I think that's really helpful, Ryan. And I mean, in all honesty, I know you well through work. We share an office space actually, and you are literally one of the most positive people I have ever met in my life. And I know there's a lot of work that you do for yourself to maintain that positivity. And I've heard you talk with clients and remind them to look for the good. And I think that's maybe a good theme for today as we come up on Thanksgiving, is reminding all of ourselves for the things that we can be grateful for. We had 18 months or so of emergency rental assistance that did help a lot of people. Was it perfect? No. Did it cause some unintended consequences? Absolutely. But there were people that were able to make some lasting change because of that. And sometimes I wonder if we just need to set aside 5 minutes a day to do a little bit of gratitude work.
You know, Susan, Ryan is exactly right. And that's kind of funny that we have a licensed counselor through our health clinic, and both him and myself, we've been sitting down. We are going to be doing something for our ERAP and our case managers. And it's just going to be exactly what Ryan and you have been talking about. let's stop focusing on the negative. What have we done good? We need to let them, under a structured, safe environment, to share their difficulties, but also look at the positives. And our counselor is going to lead that here next month, because our biggest thing for me and my board, and I think anybody else, is our staff mental health wellness. And this is very draining. And so we just need to make sure that it's, that we take care of them as well.
I think that's wonderful. And for those in senior leadership and leading your teams, to remember that compassion fatigue that Elizabeth referred to in chat, it's very real. We talk about moral injury and compassion fatigue and just absolute exhaustion. We have been tasked with going, pardon my French, balls to the walls since March 2020. Everybody has been deemed essential employees. We have been working in emergency crisis center or emergency crisis going on 3 years now. Our ability to do a lot of our work as it relates to planning and strategic thinking has been put on the back burner. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit more about some compassion fatigue. We'll bring in some people that can talk about what we're feeling is normal, it's expected, but how do we actually realistically cope with that as we hit some really difficult work. In the survey, now you guys are going to look down on the shared survey, or excuse me, agenda that I have up on the window. We do have some training opportunities that you guys can do self-directed, and then some other opportunities that are going to be coming up that I wanted to let you guys know about. The links that I have there are some prosperity agenda coaching, family-centered coaching models. We have whole family approach. There's community action with economic mobility training. There have been, I wanted to highlight some of the learning communities that are available through the national partnership. And right now we're waiting to hear on some funding opportunities, but CSNO is looking at bringing in some intensive case management training. It's data-driven, client-centered programming it's a 2-day training. It's really intense. We're going to bring that to you guys for free. We think it's so important. We're trying to find the funding necessary to bring that in for free. We're also we're waiting on some funding answers on doing some bridges out of bridges out of poverty training, excuse me. This will be virtual classwork that will go over 4 weeks. And then I just wanted to remind everybody that there is an in-person Roma training coming up March 2nd in 2023. This is in person. It's 8 hours. We're going to be in Casper, and we are going to be doing some virtual options for Roma training later in the year as well. The resource links, again, I want to draw your attention to some of the resource links that I did put in to the agenda. I'll be sharing that with everybody. And I'm going to be putting this link in the chat. And it's really important, if you guys wouldn't mind, to please go to that link and just fill out the link about your thoughts about these conversations, how you would like to see this move forward, how often you would like to meet. These discussions and these roundtable discussions are for you. I want this to be meaningful and useful for you, and that means it needs to be informed by you. So I do have people who send me questions or topic ideas. I would love, keep sending those. I'd love to see that. I have been working one-on-one with several different case managers across the state. If you have any questions or you need additional information or just something to kind of bounce off somebody that might have a fresh view or a different lens of looking at things, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. This is, I'm going to put another link in the chat. This is the link that I'm putting in there is the registration link for you to go register for upcoming training on a deep dive into client surveys. I promise to get all of our Zoom links fixed. I apologize again for the inconvenience of and starting late. We kind of ran out of time today. It is 1 o'clock and I want to make sure that I honor everybody's time. Does anybody have, before we jump off, does anybody have anything that they'd like to add? Anything that they would like to talk about for next time, or just anything that is coming to mind that you want to chat about? Okay, yes, Kim, I can put those links in an email as well. Thank you all, you guys, for attending. These are so important to know that you're not alone. You are not having to do this alone. You have brothers and sisters across the state that are willing to go into this work with you head on. So please reach out. And I will be in touch later with a follow-up to this message, or excuse me, a follow-up with the recording of this video. And if there's anything else that I can do, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you all very much. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you all soon. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.